Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Ask a CFO with San Francisco-based James Van Russell, who is the owner and founder of Van Russell Ventures. Before we start, a little about Van Russell Ventures. Van Russell Ventures works with US-based for-profit and non-profit organizations with a focus on the impact in technology, healthcare, and space. Van Russell Ventures focus on creating a strong financial platform at the CFO level and having the correct accounting financials, forecast, liquidity management, annual budgets, audit support, treasury management, capital raising support, and team hiring. Van Russell Ventures helps you build an internal finance and accounting team that can take over when it's time to transition everything back to you and the business. Okay, James, you did a podcast recently, and a question that was asked on the back of that episode was this: I want to buy a house. I have loads of stock options, but the company isn't public. The company that I work for isn't public. So can you help me understand what I can do when I'm in this position?
Okay. Yeah. So we talked about that during the podcast, but maybe not as much detail as this listener would have liked to have heard. So one of the big issues that you see with companies that are staying private longer and longer is that a lot of the employees have a lot of stock options, but they're not liquid because they're not public, so they can't sell. And a lot of employees want to buy a house, or they want some big purchases, but they don't have the personal liquidity now. And so this has always been an issue, because you know, for the CEO and the company, you want to retain the employee who's a great employee, and so you want to give them liquidity, but it's just not there. And so what has happened, the podcast is called Scale by Numbers, and we're doing a series about the financial professionals and vendors and software that if you use these individuals, this software, you'll be miles ahead of the competition from the start. And so one of these software is Carta, which is an equity management software. And so what Carta has done is they launched CartaX in January, I think it was. And as a test, they did this in their own company. And so what they've done, and this has been around for over, they've been talking about it for over a year, but finally it launched. What it is, it's a network, it's an ecosystem that brings companies with lots of employee stock options together with investors. And so it allows investors to come in and buy employee stock options in a structured way from the company. And so the benefit is investors have another way of gaining shares in the company whilst providing liquidity to the employees. In the past, employees would have had to have gone kind of on the dark web on some website that buys up employee shares or stock options at a heavily discounted rate. And so the employee would get some liquidity, but nowhere near, maybe only 50% of what they would have been able to do. And so this is a new product. Carta did it for their employees. It seems to have worked. Listen to the podcast. There's a lot more details there. But if employees are concerned about this, nothing is happening in their company. You could send the podcast to your CFO, or you could tell your CFO to go check out CartaX, and I'm happy to make an introduction there. I don't get no kickbacks or affiliate deals for me. Just a good way to help.
That's excellent, James. James, what's the name of the podcast?
Sure, it's called Scale by Numbers.
Okay, excellent. And that's available everywhere, I guess.
Yep.
And also, I'm sure people have questions. I'm sure you can tell them how to get in touch.
Yeah, James at vanrusselventures.com. You can go to our website, vanrusselventures.com, and there's a contact page there, or social media. We're also very active there. You can leave a comment to one of our posts, and we will definitely see it.